Warning, these are not my friends. I've never met any of them, and none of them are aware of my existence. Yet. Yeah, like many people during the pandemic, I've been starved for social contact, and just like everyone else, I've been getting really into podcasts. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that meme of the boy hanging out with the poster of his happy friends. It's starting to hit a little too close to home. But before the big lockdown, I did listen to podcasts, mainly Joe Rogan, but that was never for him, that was for the guests he had. But now, as my low-key podcast addiction has started snowballing, the people I am watching are the hosts, not the guests. I thought the best way that I could stop this was to admit my problem and share some of the podcasts I've started watching since lockdown so that you can have the same problem as me. So let's go! I can't remember what video I first watched of these guys, but I do remember I found their clips channel way before I found the main show. YouTube recommended me a handful of funny snippets, and before long, I was hooked.
Fuck him. Fuck Joey. You know what? Fuck listing off things I like. How about listing off things I hate? Joey.
Trash Taste is a group of 3 guys, Connor, Joey and Garnt, who all have their own respected YouTube channels and came together to discuss anime, Japanese culture, and some of the dumbest food takes on the platform.
Yeah, being like bread is shit.
Okay.
Like straight up. Like what?
Okay.
Like you don't even have like a gluten allergy or something or some shit like that to like behind
I didn't
it.
say bread was shit. I said bread is not a meal.
You said 90% of bread, and I quote, tastes the same.
Okay, Okay, I'm going to go back on that statement. Okay.
All 3 of them currently live in Japan and moved up pretty much the start of the pandemic. So a lot of their early stories that I enjoyed was their discussions of their experience as people from a more Western style culture living in a new country and the difference they noticed in Japan compared to their respected homes. What I've always loved about the fellas was that they all had their own journeys on the YouTube platform and continued to work on their own stuff as well as projects specifically for the podcast. Each of them on their own works well, but combined they're like a megazord of pure comedy and entertainment and, well, trash taste. To say I'm a fan would be an understatement. When they released a beautiful Trash Taste mug, I was determined to get a hold of that purple beauty in my hands. So I instantly ordered one. And according to the hyperfoil that came along with it, I am fan number 54. The biggest compliment I could give them is that watching their podcast feels like hanging out with friends at a bar. Everyone's dishing out stories, cracking jokes, and having a good time, which is the exact same reason I love. During the past year, a small independent New Hampshire boy put on his hard-working Grussel hat and tried to make it big on YouTube and Twitch. Well, that boy, he failed and went home crying to his mum because everybody was watching Ludwig do his subathon and became a name-stay brand in the houses of Twitch enthusiasts and gamers around the globe. That poor boy. Yes, like a lot of people, Ludwig seduced me with his top-tier presenter skills and long, flowing, non-receding hairline. I started watching and following Ludwig's stuff right around the subathon, and he has been a staple of my daily content binging ever since. And the main course of that beautiful binge is his podcast, The Yard. The Yard consists of 4 friends, Ludwig, Slime, Nick, and Zipper2 behind the screen, hanging out and chatting about the most useless, nonsensical, and rude things I've ever heard in all my days. But the guys are equally entertaining and give a vibe of a couple of friends hanging out in the yard and just chatting shit.
Yeah. I
What
respect that.
What the fuck happens with you? Next time you need something from fucking the rule of like of spirit.
Why do you think you're
specifically sitting shotgun?
Why do you think your cash works, idiot? There's no gold backing it.
It's paper, you fucking moron.
Dude, it's just
we created fictions in our
just
mind.
different paper.
And that's why this episode's sponsored by Coinbase.
Let me explain the flow that like a point will take while it's being discussed in the yard. Aiden tells a story, Slime says something so bad that I'd get banned if I repeated it now. Aiden gets defensive about it, Nick comes in to either ally with Aiden or Slime, depending if Venus is in retrograde. And then eventually, after all the ruckus, Ludwig comes in and settles the boys before saying something that starts the cycle all over again.
I am sitting on my bed. I am in my room alone, sitting on my bed on my phone. And my Anthony walks into my room with a hammer and walks in front of me and says, what are you doing? And I was just like, what? Like, I don't know, I'm on my phone. And he takes the hammer and he fucking hits my wall full force. There is a hole in my drywall because
What?
dude, what the fuck? And then we live here. And then he left the room. So as far as intrusions
Dude.
go,
You are actually absolved of all sin.
This is the formula of pure comedy. Yeah, it's just a bunch of guys being dudes, and that's why I absolutely love it. They're completely chaotic, off the rails, haywire, and yet just are so charismatic when they do it that I leave each podcast being like, damn, that was some good content. I do not personally recommend that anybody watch this podcast if you're in the vicinity of other people, because you're going to get some strange looks and some concerned parents walking away and most likely calling the police. But if this type of comedy of pure chaos and bro humor is right up your alley, then there's going to be no better recommendation than The Yard. Colin and Samir are the guys I go to for everything YouTube, as their podcast show focuses on them as creators improving their craft by talking to some of the largest and fastest growing creators in the industry. Their goal is to find out what these creators did to succeed or how they feel with the content they are making today. I love the interviews and breakdowns Colin and Samir do, as they feel like you're getting a proper education into the strategies and workflow of some of the biggest creators in the industry and what they do to succeed day after day after day. Their interview with MKBHD and Ludwig are ones I've watched multiple times, as they are entertaining to listen to, and I always leave them feeling like I've taken a little bit more knowledge with me each time. If you too are also interested in content creation on YouTube and in general, these are the guys with their ear to the ground, and I couldn't recommend them enough. Well, unless you're looking for people who know metaphors, because almost every side tangent they go on is about understanding where a commonly used phrase comes from.
To explain something, you one time told me about hiding the vegetables. I'm curious if you can explain that concept.
100%. Hiding the vegetables is like one of the core principles we have for how we tell stories, which is, you know, you give someone a plate of broccoli, they're not going to want to eat it. But maybe you will. I don't know.
He eats broccoli every night.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, so since lockdown, it appears that almost every single group of lads who have run out of things to do have eventually caved in and tried podcasting. And I'm no exception. Me, along with my roommate Jack, started Heckling Hollywood this year, where we discussed films and classic TV shows for around 3 episodes before going on indefinite hiatus. Links in the description. But the big lesson to take away here is that lockdown has had a massive effect on our day-to-day lives these past 2 years. And to cope with it, people have turned to some weird things to keep themselves sane. Remember all those people who made bread? Crazy people. Podcasts with a mix of live streaming and gaming were my saving grace in this time of my life. And I feel like credit needs to be given to the company and entertainment they provided in these darker times. Hopefully in the future, I can start making new friends and listen to podcasts a little bit less. Or, in a perfect world, Ludwig sees this video and he can invite me to see him in person, and I can finally touch that hair. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if so, feel free to like, subscribe, and share it with your real friends. But for now, have a good day.